I'm Chris Cartwright, the Sentinel's public safety and criminal justice reporter. Spring has sprung in the Monadnock region, with warmer temperatures, sometimes, and the promise of even warmer days ahead. But the weather and other environmental factors also make conditions ripe for brush fires. Today, Sentinel Sources is happy to welcome Swanzey Deputy Fire Chief Eric Mattson to explain why this is such a danger this time of year and what we can all do to reduce the risk. This is Sentinel Sources. Thank you, Deputy Chief, for sitting down with us. So first off, how long have you been in this role and with the Swanzey Fire Department?
I've been the deputy probably about 4 years now, and but I've been with the department 27 now.
So with all those years of experience, what major factors lead to brush fires around this time of year?
So this time of year, it's a lot of dry leaves, grasses that have died from last fall. They dry out. The ground underneath it is still wet. We're starting to get winds from different storms. So any kind of brush fire wants to move pretty fast.
What challenges do you all face when responding to these kinds of fires?
So we have a lot of winds. You know, wind drives a lot of these fires this time of year. So they move fast through the woods. Starts into a lot of the old dead stuff that's on the ground, and we end up have to dig the fires out, make sure they don't burn deep. Some of the stuff in the woods that we have around here, we have a lot of pine trees, so there's a lot of thick duff, dry topsoil is really what it is. We have a few here and there that are problems. It's typically any kind of large hills, mountains, that area, because obviously the heat and the fire wants to run up the hill, and the terrain itself is hard to chase. So the problem is the terrain. Just to be able to get access out to the far out areas. You're up the hills, you have to be part mountain goat in some of these places.
So it is like hiking a lot,
yeah.
Really? So then how do you get water up
So a lot of our fires we pack it in by ourselves.
Really?
We have backpack, 5 gallons at a time, and we have access that way, or we have small pumps if we can find small water holes in the woods. Sometimes we'll use those. We'll kind of dig out a spot so we can draft the water from there.
What are the tools specifically the common tools
we have
that are used?
We obviously have some axes. We have an axe that's called a Pulaski. It's got a inverted turned style axe on the opposite end of it, so that we can dig trenches. We can dig into the earth and unroot and turn over dirt. Shovels, rakes, and it's not your yard rake. It's a pretty durable, pretty rugged metal rake. It's more of a medieval-looking type of rake, but
that's the job.
But those are the job, yeah.
If they're way up in the woods, how are they first called in usually or reported?
Typically, we have fire towers around the area. So we have Pitcher Mountain. I think there's another one here in Keene that they look out, they watch the whole area, and if they see random, columns of smoke during the day, they call it in to the dispatch center, and they send out from there. So, and they have maps up there, and they can pretty much pinpoint where, down to a rough area, so where to start to look for it.
Are those employees, or is it like volunteer run?
Oh, no, those are employees, yeah.
Really?
The state hires those people in.
Wow.
Yeah. So they go up usually from about 8 to 5 during the day, because most of our fires that we allow people to have, they start at night. They start at 5 o'clock at night. So if somebody's having their own little campfire in their backyard, you're going to start seeing columns of smoke in different places in backyards.
The fire tower lookouts are up there during the day, but then fires at night, if those happen, how are they found or reported usually?
Usually just by neighbors.
Really?
You know, somebody sees it, somebody smells it.
Do brush fires, are they normally easy to contain, or like how far do they normally spread?
In this area,
Yeah.
I mean, the problem we have here are typically it's the homeowner that wants to burn off their leaves from last fall. Things get away from them, a little bit of wind kicks up, creates larger problems. And then we tend to have to start chasing after down through across people's lawns, through backyards, wooded areas.
Have there been any significant fires this season so far?
Well, I mean, you had the most recent ones that were up in Stoddard. Unfortunately, somebody started those. But there's some larger areas up there, some tracts of land up there that, thankfully there were some logging roads, old logging roads, that we could access and stop them at different points. But, that had a lot of people involved, a lot of towns, multiple days. They had a few helicopters, which is pretty random for this area.
What can the public do to minimize brush fires, would you say?
Obviously, any kind of smoking materials, make sure they're put out. If you're going out camping, any of that stuff, if you're going to picnic, barbecue, that type of stuff, make sure if you're going to have any fires that they're out. Snuff them out, wet them down, stir up the coals, wet them down again, make sure it's absolutely cooled off and not going to be a problem.
And I guess looking forward now into the summer season, but just generally over the next few years, are there any projects or goals that the fire department or surrounding fire departments have for the future with being able to control these?
No, every year we go through the same kind of cycle. We prep for dry weather. We prepare for these. Make sure our tools are prepared and ready every spring, and we start that way and just move forward.
Finally, what keeps you coming back to the job? What's your favorite part of?
Just basically just helping. It's knowing that you're out there doing the right thing. Trying to help, trying to make things work, trying to keep people safe. So.
Thank you, Deputy Chief, for sitting down with us. I'm Chris Cartwright, and thank you for joining us on Sentinel Sources.